Hey guys, this is Gatsby with Tape, and today you join me in the tracking station taking a look at our beautiful solar system in Kerbal space program. But what happens if we zoom out? What if we wanted more space? Well, this is actually part of a star system now. What is that doing? Well, doesn't matter what that's doing. Yeah, this is the interplanetary mod. Well, interplanetary mod, interstellar sort of mod. I think it's called basically just like properly working star systems mod or something. Basically, it's a concatenation of various mods. I will link it in the description. If I don't, feel free to yell at me. But yes, basically, this does indeed add a bunch of star systems. It just basically it turns the sun into a black hole, which can be found in the center of all this, called Black E Carmen. I guess because it's a black hole. You can't see it. Obviously, it's a black hole. Read a book. But yeah, basically, I don't know what this probe is doing. This was going somewhere completely different before, but we'll ignore it. But yeah, basically, it just adds, well, at least 2 of these, but you can add more manually if you really know what you're doing. But yeah, around this black hole we have this little thing called inaccessible, because I imagine it would be rather difficult to get down here, and if you did, you would probably be pulled into the black hole, although I don't think it's actually muddled. But yeah, all the planets are from, I think, Crag Planet Factory, or something to that effect. Basically just adds planets usually, and they've used that to add all the planets to all these star systems. And I'm just going to take a quick look through the star systems and then do something cool with a spaceship, maybe, if it works. But yeah, the first star is called Dolas, I believe, and it is, well, it's a blue star. I believe blue stars are relatively new, fairly, what is it, young stars. I may be wrong, I'm not an expert on stuff, much as that was proved in my real solar system updates video, which I was very wrong about a lot of things. I think that was because I was reading from a list, but I got 11,000 views, and a lot of people were like, yeah, you don't know your shit. But, I don't care. Anyway, but yeah, this is a beautiful blue star with lots of little patches on it. But yeah, it's very nice, and I very much like the look of it. Just talking about the aesthetics of the star. But yeah, it does have 4 planets. The first one is Polo, or yeah, I guess it's probably Polo. I'm not really sure, or Polo, or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, it looks quite nice. I'm not actually sure if this is a biome map or the actual texture, because I haven't actually been here, and I have hardly played any Point 90, and I'm pretty sure they make you see the biome map, but some of the other planets look like they might not have a biome map. But this looks pretty biome mappy. But yeah, basically this is just, well, it's quite a nice looking planet. I think, well, this is blue like ocean, but it's cratered like land, so I'm pretty sure. What does this say about this? Strange planet, blue atmosphere, and pools of blue unknown fluid and ice caps. The atmosphere is highly toxic, but looks welcoming. So yeah, this looks kind of fairly inhabitable, until you read the description, and it's actually a toxic atmosphere. And some of this, at least, is water, but it's kind of difficult to tell, really. But yeah, I'm not sure if this is a biome map again, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, it looks, fairly nice. It's got like some sort of maybe pools, or maybe, I'm not really sure what any of this is. But yeah, it looks a lot of plants. I'm not going to talk through the plants too much, because there's a lot to see. And the more interesting ones that I know a little more about and more obvious, I will talk about a little more. But yeah, the next one is Dawn. This, I believe, is actually a bit like Duna. Yeah, other than the fact it's orbiting the hottest different star. Oh yeah, it is hotter and orbiting. Oh yeah, I thought it was saying the star was hotter. But yeah, this is basically Duna's twin, as you can kind of tell by these giant ice caps. So you kind of expect that these are indeed biome maps, given that it doesn't really look at much else like Duna, unless this is sort of like a coppery composite, and this is, I don't know, what's blue? I guess sulfur isn't blue. What am I talking about? It's more yellow. Phosphorus? I'm not really sure. But yeah, could be. But yeah, this is a very nice looking planet, very rocky, looks like it's got a bunch of craters and some very cool ridges. Very much like to visit this, but I do need to skip through this a little quickly because I have other things to do in this video and I've only got through like hardly any plants. CZF30, this is just like a little, it's very Earth-like, isn't it? This is, yeah, holy hell. CF it was longly mistaken for a star due to the thick cloud layer discovered by amateurs. It is assigned a designation while CASA is stuck in litigation over naming rights. I see. But yeah, it looks a bit like Kerbal, really, doesn't it? It looks like it has liquid oceans and ice caps and solid land that appears to have vegetation or a green biome map and little bits of desert. some craters about. Yeah, but who knows? That might be water, or it might be could be methane, could be pretty much anything. And is it like roughly in the habitable zone? I don't know enough about these kind of stars to know if it's in the habitable zone. But given that a blue star is a relatively young star, I believe, I doubt this would have life because the primordial soup probably hasn't really, you know, come about. But yeah, the next planet is called Kaiser. From what I know about the Kaiser, he wasn't a great guy. But you know, that's just because I'm on the side that was against him. Well, you know, born in the country. Anywho, this looks like some large gas giant. Now, this does really make me think that this is indeed a biome map, considering how I really hope that it doesn't actually look like this, and this is indeed a biome map, because it looks kind of ridiculous, but it does appear to be a gas giant. You can see these kind of, well, it's first off massive, and second off it has these kind of like stormy looking regions. But yeah, and these weird little sporadic dots in it. Maybe it's some kind of well, cloud formation or something. I'm not really sure. I guess I could find out. Kuna. Maybe it's kind of like Duna, or it's, I don't know, not really sure. But it looks very rocky, very very biomed, or maybe this is its actual color again. Lots of very cratered, probably relatively difficult to pick a landing site. Actually, there looks pretty good. But anyway, there are many moons and many planets, and this next moon is called Jabin. Again, looks relatively similar to the other one. Fairly rocky planet, fairly vast biomes. Probably relatively difficult to pick out a landing site, quite rocky, craterous, and some pretty nice ridges. I'm not going to read all of the information because that would take a while and I actually have other things to do, and I don't want this to be much longer than a 20-minute video. Anyway, we know much about, this is our star system, we know quite a bit about that, we've been there a lot. Anyway, moving on to Kerbal. I do quite like Kerbal. It's a more orangey star, more red, I guess, maybe a red giant, red dwarf, something like that. Probably a much older star. That's probably coming to the end of its lifespan. Or maybe not. Basically, we've got the young star, then we've got our star, which is probably you know, Kerbal, which is kind of mid-cycle, and this is probably coming to the end. Annoyingly, I can't actually get to a blade in the map view. I've tried all angles, and it doesn't really appear to be possible. No matter how much I click, so I will need to send a probe. But anyway, next out is Erin. Erin is, I believe it's like Lathe. Yeah, it looks very much like Lathe, except it has much more land than ocean, so maybe it's the opposite of Lathe. And its description is habitable? But yeah, so that implies it maybe has an oxygen atmosphere, maybe water oceans. Although they're not really oceans, they're more lakes. But it does look quite deserty with maybe some of this, well, it's probably not ice, this, is it? It's probably more like, oh, well, that looks more like ice. This looks more like, I guess, sodium sort of salt-type flats, like salty areas. But yeah, it's a very nice planet. I'd love to come here. Very big landmass, and then, oh, it looks like it's very close to the sun, though. Maybe it's probably a much cooler sun because it's much older, so maybe that's why it's in the habitable zone. But again, not an expert. Pock is its only moon, which looks just a bit, well, not icy, probably. It's probably, again, more of a sodium salty sort of thing. With lots of little craters in it, and it looks, yeah, it looks quite a lot like a big version of Gilly, I think. Pock, great for Treem sports. Right. Okay. Yeah, very mountainous, very kind of Gilly-like, I guess, but with maybe, well, probably not ice, probably more like, you know, kind of, salty sort of composite, sodium sort of stuff. Anyway, moving on. The next planet we're going to look at is the next gas giant called Centaur. Centaur's a very cool name, and it does have rings, which I do love very much. I think they're pretty much volume. Yeah, because if I go here, you can't see them. So maybe they are just like dead, like properly thin plane, or maybe they're just very thin, like well, I guess like they would be in real life. But I imagine if you flew through them, they wouldn't really do a huge amount. But yeah, this looks basically, I think, just quite a lot like Jupiter, really. Just a blue Jupiter with the big eye and the lots of little other storms, and this. Again, this here looks quite a lot like Jupiter's composite. Maybe it is just a blue version of Jupiter, but I haven't looked at Jupiter in a while, so I actually don't have it exactly in my memory, but it does look quite similar. Just blue. But yeah, very pretty planet. Again, love to fly past it. Its moon, one of its moons is called Skeleton, which I think looks a lot like, more like Mars than Duna, but yeah, it has these ice caps, which do look a lot like ice. very deserted sort of stuff. Some nice looking craters, but I think relatively smooth, and I believe it does have an atmosphere because funny red planet, home planet of the legendary Mitt Crag ski area, which I imagine is this sort of crag in this giant mountain. It's like huge. Future home of Herring's Wall Memorial and Strip Club. Of course, because we do need a strip club on this planet. Pretty long distance to go for a strip club, but I guess that's gonna be the premise of my screenplay. Interstellar strip club. I'm gonna go write that. Anyway, but yeah. This, yeah, very deserty planet. Looks quite cool. Anyway, moving on. Oh no, there's more moons, isn't there? There's Ringle, which is kind of a ringed rocky planet. Moon even. Planetoid, doesn't really matter what I say. But yeah, it's pretty much, yeah, I'm not sure if this would ever occur with such a small planet, but these are pretty small rings, I guess. But yeah, it's only really known to happen with gas giants, I think. Saturn and, I think to a very small degree, Jupiter, and, I believe Neptune, has some small rings. But yeah, interesting. Not sure if it's, particularly accurate, but whatever. And we have Thud. Lots of big craters, especially this one. Looks like it's had lots of things thudding into it. Ha ha ha. But yeah, this actually does look like a snowy planet. That would be very cool to visit. But yeah, now I am speeding through this because it's been 11 minutes and I have a lot to get in. And our final thing is Ascension. This is actually a comet, as you can see in the description here. It is, I could just belch on this tiny little comet and vaporize your entire species. It's a sort of threat, you see. But yeah, this does indeed look like a comet, very icy, very, looks like it's kind of rocky. Yeah, I imagine it would be much more difficult to get to this than Rosetta's journey, although Rosetta was a very important mission. Anyway, let's move away from this and actually launch something to kind of give you an idea of surprisingly low amount of delta V. Oh, and just before I do that, quick disclaimer, this does not work in KSP 64-bit. I tried it, and this happened. Quick disclaimer, don't know when I'm going to slip this in the video. Oh, yeah, 64-bit doesn't work with this. You can see as I'm moving around, it's kind of dying. And as I zoom out, we're kind of a bit in the sun, and this is all just a bit... Yeah, you can see how this has been done. That's the black hole. The sun's curbing, I guess. We've got Dawn orbiting here. Not really. This would be a fun universe, though, actually. Just absolutely just messed up as just all hell. I mean, it's shaking around as I'm doing this. But yeah, this will be at some point. Alright, yes, I am on the launch pad with this kind of large SLS-looking vehicle with only these two puny struts holding onto it, because for some reason when I put things on the pad, they're often like inside the planet or inside the black hole or randomly in space, and the weird fix for that is go back to the VAB, take off some of these launch struts, and then put it back on the pad. Don't know why that works, but it does. Anyway, this is just, I'm just going to launch this because I need to kind of get through this. Anyway, this is just basically to show you, oh, that's nice. Basically just to show you that it's actually not that hard to leave the system. However, yeah, I did actually get an escape trajectory for not that much delta V, and actually it was like a ridiculously small amount. Okay, this was actually dumb. But yeah, as I will show you, but obviously the transfer time is pretty long. I actually did get an encounter with another solar system, which was with that probe I showed you earlier, but for some reason that's gone to a completely different place. I think this is a little unstable, but does work just about. But yeah, the encounter would have taken 37 years to actually come to fruition, so not perfect if you're sending crew. But if you do install Interstellar, then you can probably choose a warp drive, ramp it up to 10 times the speed of light, and be on your way. But again, that might be, well, might be difficult because of memory issues and how active texture management can be kind of a dick. But anyway, we're ready to ditch these boosters and destroy them on the engine because we don't value this. The only mod I'm using is, well, actually, MechJeb and procedural fairings. No, I don't need procedural fairings, I just really don't like launching things without fairings anymore, just because it just doesn't look real at all. Like, I know some things aren't going to look real, but fairings are pretty fundamental. I mean, it would be nice if they just implemented in the fairly basic, like the fairly basic aerodynamics engine. They don't have to upgrade to something like FAR, but it would be nice if, if they had some use for fairings, just like some really basic calculation that took fairings into account. That would just be nice for the final game, because this looks so much nicer than, like, not fairings. You can see I'm not really tipping over that much. It's because this vehicle doesn't accelerate massively, because it does have a top stage, and this engine isn't actually brilliantly powerful, so I am tipping over very late. But this is a giant vehicle for a relatively small probe, so it doesn't really matter. I just threw this together. Yeah. Anyway, I will actually start tipping over a little more now. But yeah, I have named this Voyager 1 because of that spacecraft that left our solar system, called Voyager 1. Although I think it's probably still under the influence of the sun's gravity, but will probably, well, I think it's on an escape trajectory out of the sun, but is still under the influence of the sun's gravity. I should really be tipping over more. Like, I know I shouldn't, I was waiting to tip it over, but this is a little far. How high is our apogee? Well, apogee, because it's curving. But yeah, I would love to just go to other planets in this with this mod. It's just such a fantastic freaking mod. And it's so easy to install. I mean, it is pretty glitchy, but that's fair enough, because it does change around how the whole game works, effectively. But yeah, it is just a really nice mod. I thought this would be way more difficult. Every time I've tried it before, it's been way more difficult, but it was just so easy to install. I was so happy. I spent most of my afternoon trying to get this to work with various mods, and it just wasn't even loading up the game. But then finally I installed this, and it was fantastic. Again, link in the description. If I do forget, then just yell at me. In the comments, don't come to my house. That would be a little far. But yeah, this stage is incredibly fast, and I think if I have flown this well, we'll actually pretty much escape me out of the sun, because it's pretty easy to escape out of the sun in Kerbal Space Program, because it's 1/10 the size of the real world. But I imagine if you were to do this with, say, Realism Overhaul, if you could somehow combine this with Realism Overhaul, that would be very impressive. You can see on top this kind of fairly meager payload considering the launch vehicle. I just kind of threw it together, as I said. I don't really need this nuclear stage because it's, again, pretty easy to leave the solar system in Kerbal Space Program. Again, tiny solar system, relatively easy. I have included radioisotope thermal generators, or RTGs, because when we're far from the sun, the solar panels will not generate a huge amount of power. Well, or any power, really, when we're outside of the solar system, or even really getting to ELU, it's pretty dire in the power generation sort of arena. But yeah, when we're no longer in the solar system, I imagine there will be some power issues. Right, that is out of the atmosphere. 69 kilometers is roughly where the atmosphere ends. But yeah, you can see this little tiny probe I will be sending off. But yeah, I'm just going to do a quick maneuver node, and it will be quick because I have done this before. Yes, of course I've left the solar system before. What do you take me for? Some person who doesn't leave the solar system? How dare you, sir? But yeah, okay, you can see 1,000 delta V, pretty standard, gets me out to Duna. 2,000 delta V, 2,000 meters per second delta V will get me to around the orbit of Joule. And 2,700 meters per second delta V will get me out of the solar system. And a quick little extra burn will get me down close to here. 3,000 delta V, 3,000 meters per second delta V to get down to Dolus is really not that much. But as you can see, I've got a close encounter there, that's nice. But as you can see, that is 35 years away. I was surprised, actually. I was incredibly surprised about how little delta V it would took. I thought if I was even going to get close to leaving, I'd need freaking interstellar and everything. But then I actually thought back to all the times I've gone to ELU and Joule and how close they are to the edge of the solar system, at the edge of Kerbal's sphere of influence, and how, well, how much delta V it takes to get there. So, and then with the Oberth effect of Kerbin and the sun, or Kerbal, it's like, well, you know, it's not actually a huge amount of delta V, which is interesting, as it turns out. I'll wait a little longer. Just a little longer. That was terrible. I don't really know what song I was singing. Oh yeah, I actually completely forgot the tune. Anyway, it's time to leave. So yeah, I'll be using this main stage. I'll probably ditch the nuclear stage because it takes so goddamn long to use. And as you can see, well, the nuclear stage has 6,000 delta V. That'll basically take me anywhere, as it turns out, sadly. But the top stage, that little tiny stage here, has 2,500 meters per second delta V, which will do for my purposes, so I will not need this boring, slow nuclear stage. I'm sure the engineers will be rather angry at me that I just jettisoned it. But yeah, This could be awesome for a lot of reasons. I'm thinking that I might one day do it, because this works on point 90, I could do a series in this. I could, like, do my next series in this. I think that would be insanely awesome. Ditch that. All of this will leave our solar system. I'm not gonna... I could use this, but that would be lame. Yeah, I could do a series with this. It does work with career mode, I believe. I haven't tried it, but it does say on the mod page. I'm sorry this is in the dark, but as I'm leaving prograde out of the sun, there's nothing I can do. But yeah, this does work with career mode, so I could do a big career mode thing where I leave the attempt to go into interstellar, but that would take a lot of time, and it would be a lot of science spamming, so I might just do a stock sort of thing. Or, no, well, I mean like a sandbox thing. And I might use Interstellar. I imagine I would use Interstellar either way, because a warp drive would be much nicer than a 37-year transfer. And I'm actually going to attempt here. I am going to attempt to get to another solar system. That is going to happen this video. I have got the encounter before, but then this happened. And this actually leaves our galaxy. Holy shit, that's intergalaxy. Yeah, basically, I'm the king, is what I'm just trying to point out here. Yeah, we'll just leave our sun real quick. Wait a minute, yeah, basically I think if you leave probes, they just go nuts. Because it's a pretty, not a massively stable mod. Anyway, set Kaiser. Is it not Kaiser, just the solar system? You dick. Yeah, dick. Yeah. Okay, set Dolus as our little target. And then, I think our exit is 2 years away, which is, how far is that? That's 5 years. 4 years, 3 years. A whole orbit takes 61 years, which is pretty unrealistic because I believe our solar system hasn't orbited the center of the galaxy once, although that may be wrong. I may be thinking of the galaxy orbiting the universe. I'm not entirely sure, actually. I think I do a quick burn prograde and then get my not encounter, because fuck the world. Fuck the world and everything it stands for. I'm just going to play around with this until I get an encounter, basically. Alright, let's see if that's getting closer, I think. 538. Quick pull there. 536. This is in, like, millions of kilometers. So, pretty good, actually. 523. This is actually a pretty small burn. Well, it's getting bigger quite quickly, though, isn't it? It's annoying. I need to bring my periaps down and speed up, so I did get this really easily before, but things may have moved around. Oh, no, oop. If I just do a retarded burn here, boom! Yeah, fuck you! Yeah. And I get Dolus periaps and a Blackie Cam and Apple apps. Oh, that's just the black hole. Alright, yeah, let's go. Quick save. Quickly, I have very little time. Because a lot of things I should be doing. Alright, 2 years. Oh, this is gonna take so long. I might just cut ahead. Yeah, I'll probably cut through this, because 2 years of warping. Oh, it doesn't have enhanced warp. I could just set my... No, if I change it in the save file, it'll mess everything up. Oh, Christ. Yeah, 2 years of time warping. I will join you when I get to the node. Alright, we are coming up to our node. We are less than a week away. And we have now exited our solar system for the first time in Kerbal history on my channel. And now it's just a matter of positioning ourselves and doing a little more warping. And you can see the sun down there, so far away. And you can see how little torque I have, so painful to behold. Is it even moving? Yeah, a bit. Oh, I have RCS. It'll be much quicker. Oh, Jesus! Oh, jeez. Right. Oh, yeah, that little tiny probe has, like, basically no torque. Yep, okay, thank God I brought RCS, or this would have been painful. And, if only I had, like, time warp to hold it in place. Oh, wait, I totally have time warp to hold it in place. It's called cheating, because I don't have time. I'm not sure if I'm actually going to be able to warp all the way down there, considering it's 28 years away, and it took me, like, ages to warp, like, a few years. Like, not many years. Like, basically, like, no years. It took me, like, I think I was warping, like, 2 years. It took me a very long time. Okay, cool. SAS has my back. Sweet! It's good to have for the SAS to have your back. You know, best fighting force in the world. Yeah, that's right, I said it, Navy SEALs. Anyway, oh, yeah. Yeah, talk about war and guns. That brings out the crazies in your comment section. Not the people who are into guns are crazy. Okay, I've dug myself a hole. You know what? I'm too tired for this. Oh, Jesus, this is a way bigger burn than I thought. But yeah, I have the Delta V, somehow. Yeah, it does really point out how tiny this system is. Yeah, I'm actually going away from the sun, and I have extended my antenna now. But we are truly in deep space. There's basically just like hardly any light on us. The sun no longer reflects light on us, and I don't think if I had solar panels it would actually give me any power, because if you've ever been to Eeloo or Joule, you'll know that it gives you much less power there with solar panels, and this is much further out. This is beyond the realms of our solar system. You can see I'm at 4,545 gigameters away from the sun. Or, no, not the sun, the black hole. That's how high I am above the nothing. And yeah, Voyager 1. Obviously, Voyager 1 didn't actually do this. It just left and then just lackadaisically, you know, went through space because it's so goddamn lazy. No, because, well, it would be ridiculous to think that it would travel anywhere else. But yeah, this is just a wonderful mod, as I've said. Doesn't work in 64-bit. Pretty sure I've already showed you that. But yeah, this is, and it's not that difficult to like do all this. I mean, obviously you have to be pretty good with encountering and, you know, maneuvers. But if you're pretty like veteran at KSP and are really looking for a new challenge that isn't realism overhaul, just do this. This is a pretty good way to go. Given that, you know, you well, traveling interplanetary, very cool. And if you're a big fan of the Interstellar mod, this is definitely for you. And if you're a big fan of just bleeding nuclear engines dry, then this is your mod. I think this had less Delta V on it than I thought it did. Of course, I used it for part of the ejection burn. I'm a fool! Okay, we have our encounter. Awesome. And it's only 1 billion years away. Dolas encounter. Oh, it's not actually even telling me how far away it is. Oh, there we go. There we go. Quick save. Obviously. Don't want to lose this baby. Bring it down a bit. Yeah, Dolas periapsis. That is still incredibly high, but still very cool. I'm not going to do any exploring this episode because I, first off, won't have the fuel, second off, don't have the time, and third off, just, that sounds really difficult. Mainly the fuel and time thing, given that it's, well, it's something like 20 to 10, but I have things to do that I just haven't done. Yeah, deorbiting around the sun. Not our sun, another sun. Oh yeah, that's right. It's, pretty, how's the weather up there, Peter, in the, you know, lofty heights? Jeez, Scott Manley, step up. Oh man, I hope he doesn't see this. Oh god, I'm gonna get like Kerbal murdered. Just wake up with a Kerbal head in my bed. Oh jeez. I'm sorry, Scott, I didn't mean it. Anyway, yeah. This is, do you reckon that, Scott Manley's Interstellar Quest series secretly has this in it? And at the end he's like, oh yeah, zoom out. Yeah, there's more solar systems, what up? And he just hasn't revealed it the whole time. That'd be a great final reveal. Like a year ago, Scott Manley, if you're somehow listening, then that's a great idea for your series you're going to come up with. Alright, bit of deorbiting. This is pretty baller. Man, this has taken ages. This better get a shit ton of views. Yeah. Alright, this is actually going surprisingly well. I'm gonna quick save here because I don't trust that this will just keep working for me, because that seems a little far-fetched. Actually, how close is that? I have literally... That's far too big for me to comprehend or understand what that really is. Oh, damn it, I'm on Conics patch mode, like, 1 or something. I need to be on Conics patch mode 0! 0, man! That's pretty close to the sun. Okay, and now it's going back up. Okay, you'll join me in a bit when I'm there. No, you'll join me right now, because they've actually added a much higher time warp that allows you just to warp through years as if they were nothing. Nothing, I tell you! Which is good, because I was about to cry. Whoa, that just jumped ahead. That's worrying. Pretty unstable. Much. Yeah, they've added like 1 billion... What? How much time warp is this? I think it's like 1 million times time warp. Yep, that's maybe 10 million? I'm not sure. Okay, that's just jumped here. I don't think this is done actually particularly well, as it turns out. 3 years away, 4 years away. Yeah, we're going to spend a lot of time with Dolas. Don't last, don't tell, right? Ha ha ha. Okay, we're cool! And float. Oh shit. This is spinning out of control for some reason. Thank you, floating point error. It brought me closer to the sun. And I don't know why I'm spinning. Whoa! Whoa! Whoa. No! What? Why? What did I do wrong? Where did I go wrong? Okay. Be cool. What's going on? Oh, my... Okay. Aliens don't want me to be here. I'm too close to the sun. Alright, yeah, let's go into the sun, and then I've got to end this video because I've been recording for so long. Okay, so aliens really don't want me to be here. That's apparent. We're just gonna reach the speed of light. Maybe. Are we gonna get anywhere near planets, I wonder? Set that as target. Nah, not even close. I think we're on the complete wrong... Yeah, no, we're not gonna get close. But still, this is just... I did this. I went interstellar. Yeah. Interstellar quest. I've already done it. Seriously, gotta stop doing that. Scott Manley's gonna kill my Kerbals. Anyway. Whoa, look how bright. Look how freaking bright that is. You see all this brightness? That's the star right there. That's baller. That's baller as fuck. Oh god, seriously, download this mod. This is just awesome. Man, am I definitely doing a series with this. Anyway, I should probably end this looking at the beautiful blue star and wishing that my spacecraft hadn't been destroyed. I don't know why either. But yeah, this has been KSP with tape. I just went interstellar crazy. I want to see what happens when I... Wait, when I leave the solar system, where will I be? Oh, in a really lame part of space. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. This has been KSP with tape. I will see you next time.